Hey everybody, today we're at the Cipriani Residences in Miami, a beautiful project here in Brickell. Are you ready? Let's go. Wow, from the second I walk in, I feel amazing. They gave me some delicious water and also a beautiful gift, a gift bag. I love it. Inside, I can't tell you what was inside. Amazing, just presents. I can't even tell you what was in there. I'm kidding. It was the fact sheet and a beautiful pen, and a beautiful gesture from them. But let's take a closer look at the model here and go over some of the most amazing features that I want to share with you today. All right, so the most important thing here is the brand, Cipriani, because is really much more than a brand, is a family tradition, which is very important because that really builds confidence in the project. Because when you compare it to other brands like Aston Martin or Baccarat, this is a 90-year-old brand that has been passed from father to son. It has not been sold like other ones like the House of Gucci. It has been passed on from generation to generation. And why is that important? Because when it's your own family business, you know that skin is in the game. So it's all about your reputation. And that means you're going to make sure that everything is just above and beyond. All right? Because what happens with a lot of high-end projects is that sometimes the quality ends up not being that great. But in this case, the authenticity of the Cipriani brand is just amazing. And you can see it from everything you've seen so far, right? Another amazing thing about this project when it comes to Cipriani is that even after all the development is done, Cipriani will still be present because they will be managing the restaurant as well as managing the room service. So that's quite a unique aspect. Also, keep in mind that Brickell today is the second most important financial district in the United States after Wall Street. All right? And now we're going to have a building here, the Cipriani, that has all the services that you would expect from a high-end hotel, except it won't have the hotel component. All right? It'll be really more like a private club. Okay? It'll have room service, dog walkers. So you really are going to feel like you're in a private club, almost like in Soho House, that kind of aspect. In other words, they're creating an incredible network. Again, did I mention that 3 times? Like a private club? Yeah, exactly that. And for the investor, this can be quite important because, he or she may spend a little bit more than what they're comfortable with, but it's really not just to get the high-end lifestyle. But again, also to tap into that network. And that's something that potential tenants will also be very interested in, being part of this exclusive community. Because once again, this is not a hotel. In this building, you will most likely meet a lot of very powerful people. So it's a very interesting network that you're going to have here. Because keep in mind, there will be a lack of properties like this one, so it will be in high demand, which is exactly what investors want, right? They want something that is scarce and that there's a high demand for, just like this project. Because really, in this area, there is no other building like a Four Seasons that has all the services without having the hotel component. So Cipriani is very unique. So now let's talk a little bit about the building itself. It will have 80 floors, 397 units. There will be 3 different key plans. From the 8th floor to the 18th floor, it will be all 1-bedroom and 3-bedroom units. From the 19th floor to the 61st, there will be 6 units per floor and mainly 2-bedroom units. And then from the 62nd floor to the 78th floor, that's really the highest, like the VIP. That's a really high-end part of the building, which they call the Canaletto collection. because Canaletto, as you may know, he's an Italian, or was an Italian painter from the 18th century, from the Venetian school, but it is also the name of the wood on the Riva yachts, and I find that amazing. So that is a big influence on the Cipriani, which is why the name of those VIP units are called the Canoletto. Those units are going to be 4 units per floor, and those 17 floors, which are from the 62nd to the 78th, are the only ones with private elevator. The rest, from the 9th floor to the 61st, will have 7 elevators total to use, 6 for residents and 1 for service. Now you will see that all the elevators are basically in the back, because Arquitectonica, who are the architects, they figured that nobody really wants to look to the back, so everyone wants to look at the water, wants to look east. So they put all the machinery and the elevators in the back. From the 2nd floor to the 6th floor will be designated for parking. Every unit will have a parking space, but not every unit will have an assigned parking space. Most of the amenities will be on the 7th floor. We'll get back to those in a minute, but one thing I want to mention is that everyone wants great schools, right? At least people who have kids. And this building is only 3 miles away from Coconut Grove. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And even if you don't have kids, it's also great to keep in mind because you want to think resale. So that proximity to schools, to great schools, is definitely important to keep in mind. Another nice thing about this location is that if you want to walk and relax, you can always go south. But if you want more of the big city, you can walk north. So you can have a little bit of both worlds. And something else, that because we're not right by the water, that has its advantages, which is that you wouldn't be on the flood zone in this building. And this building itself is in flood zone X as opposed to flood zone A, which is basically the waterfront. And the truth is that it translates into a much more conservative HOA. All right, because the maintenance in flood zone A buildings will always be higher. So in this case, it's a flood zone X, so it won't be as high. So it's an advantage to keep in mind. Another thing is that we cannot really predict the future, but to understand what has happened historically can help us make some sort of prediction. And one thing to keep in mind is that in April 2022, Mr. Ken Griffin bought a particular part of land near this building for $363 million. And that's without construction, just the land. So if one of the wealthiest billionaires of the world and his team assessed him to make this investment, then that means they know something, you know? So if they did that, it's because they're having projections towards the future, and that can help us make predictions. So by 2027, 2028, which is when this building will be delivering its units, chances are that the real estate market will be at a fantastic place. So this is really the moment to go with Cipriani. Keep in mind that the median price is about $1,500 per square foot, but you will most likely see these prices around $2,000 per square foot in the future. So there's quite a lot of a difference there where you will be able to grow your money. A lot of potential to grow your money. All right, now let's keep in mind that service is basically the secret sauce of Cipriani. All right, they are the masters of anticipating. And if you've ever been to a high-end restaurant, resort, anywhere high-end, anticipation is key, right? And one thing that I find really, really amazing about this project is that on the 7th floor, where the pool is located, they also have 3 private dining rooms by Cipriani. So you can actually call and reserve an entire dining room for your business or your party. And let's say perhaps you're closing a deal, you can bring your clients there and you can offer them the best wine, the best food, and, you know, in your own private restaurant. So you can really wow your people, you know, your partners, your associates. So, you know, as an investor, this can be a great point to keep in mind, because the tenants will want to live in a building like this, because it's really much more than just a great floor plan. There's a lot more than that, just like these dining rooms that you can reserve. On the 7th floor, you will also have an area for kids, a pet park, a library, a movie theater, a social lounge. And on the 8th floor, you will have a swimming pool, lap pool, pickleball, golf simulator. Just amazing, amazing amenities. From the restaurant, you will actually be looking south, so you will have a beautiful view of the city. And one nice detail of Cipriani is the round tables. Now, this is something I learned, and the reason why, you may be wondering, they use round tables is because in a round table, everybody is equally important. I thought that was kind of neat. And they mentioned that there's even a whole book on Cipriani that goes over that and a lot more details. I definitely want to check it out. If you've read it, let me know, because I would love to read it as well. The restaurant will also have soundproof ceilings, so you can be loud and have a fun time with your friends without disturbing people around you. There will also be, a lot of little details like nautical curves with the 1950s decorations. A lot of neat things about everything in the restaurant and just in the entire building. All right, so let's talk about the residences. They will have 10-foot floor-to-ceiling windows. There will be 4 penthouses. One of them has already been sold, so there's 3 left. If you would like to get one, let me know. They're going for around $17 to $40 million. One thing to keep in mind is that the smaller units, like the 1-bedroom, are actually very large units. The dimensions of these units are extraordinary. It's not just your everyday 1-bedroom. It is big. For instance, the area of the 1-bedroom is 1,442 square feet. So that's going to go for around $1,690,000. So that's around $1,100 per square foot, which is hard to find anything in pre-construction that is going to be high-end at this price point. All the 3-bedroom units will be in the corners and different prices. Like, for example, the ones looking at the pool we have at $2.9 million. The same floor plan looking at the city will be $2.5 million. And let's talk about the Canaletto. Those are going to be 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. And they go for different prices. The ones that are facing straight east are going for around $3.7 million. And then the ones on both ends going for around $6 million and up and $5.6 million and up. All right, when it comes to the deposit schedule, it'll be 20% at contract, 10% at groundbreaking, 10% at rooftop, and 60% at closing. When it comes to the HOA, it will be around $1.58 per square foot with reserves. And rental restrictions, owners can rent the units twice per year with a minimum rent of 30 days. Okay, everybody, one thing to keep in mind is that the developer is about to get the loan. All right, and once the developer gets that loan, they're going to start construction. But the thing is that the pricing will most likely raise after that. And then if you want to negotiate, then you won't be negotiating only with the developer, but you will also be negotiating with the bank, which can make things a little bit more complicated. So if you would like to get a unit, time is of the essence. All right, the sooner you do it, the better, because that way you're only dealing with the developer as opposed to the developer and the bank. All right, now let's talk a little bit, and let's talk about the kitchen. All right, and this kitchen is really awesome because you can even cut your veggies here on the counter. It's designed for that, and you could even put hot pots on it without damaging it, because it's not just like a regular marble that can be very porous. This is actually designed so you can really do a lot of things on it. All right, and you have your sub-zero fridges and your flooring. You can have the all Taj Mahal or the porcelain, or there's a few other choices here as well. I'll be happy to send you more details on that if that's something you would like to know about. All right, now let's talk a little bit more detail about the bathrooms here. Just look at all the details. They're amazing, classic, timeless, just beautiful. And as usual, I might try to take a shower. If you have any questions, remember you can send me an email, and that is at info@santiagoamarino.com. If you would like to schedule a showing, I can bring you to the sales room, and or if you have any questions or if you want more information on this, let me know. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.